All right, how's everybody doing? All right, so I have to admit this is going to be a first for me. I like to walk around, but I want to say hi. Where's the live stream coming from? Right here. So I want to say hi to everyone watching on the live stream. So this is going to be a first for me. I like moving around. I might dance back here a little bit if you guys don't mind. So a lot of people saw the movie. What'd you guys think? That kind of already ruined the surprise. That was supposed to be the surprise at the end. But anyway, I wanted to thank Simi for inviting me. She was the one that started. And I just wanted to thank all of you guys for coming back and for all joining here. Giving me the opportunity to share my story. I walked in with a couple young ladies, and they said that they went home, they watched the movie, and came back to school just to hear me talk, so I really appreciate that. I do have to apologize on behalf of myself. I heard that some of you were expecting David Henry. So I apologize for just being Corey. But I'll tell him that you guys wanted to see him. I have no problem doing that. We could let him know that you guys were asking for him. Alright, so now I have a question for you guys. And I don't want this to be anything serious. You guys are more than welcome to, talk, and I'm going to ask you guys questions, and, I want to interact. I don't want you just sitting here looking at me, for a half hour, however long we have. So how many of you guys in here face obstacles in your life? Big obstacles, adversity, anything like that. Everyone, right? So everyone's hand should pretty much be raised, because we all do face some sort of obstacle, some sort of problem, adversity in our life, whether it's small, whether it's big, whether it's something that we're going to have to deal with for a couple of days, for a couple months, for a couple of years. It's not really a question of whether or not we're going to face obstacles. I guess the real question would be is how do we overcome these obstacles, right? Because, throughout our journey in life, and life is a journey, full of highs and lows, throughout our journey, we're going to be faced with difficult times. That's just the way things go. I know me personally, the hardest thing that I ever had to deal with, the greatest obstacle I had ever faced, was having a stroke when I was 19 years old. And I know a lot of you guys already knew that. I was a 19-year-old college athlete when I had the stroke. My life changed in a matter of seconds. All right, really, changed in a matter of seconds. But I have to say that, overcoming any obstacle starts by taking the first step. That's how I say that we need to approach any obstacle, any adversity that we're facing, is taking the first step. Anybody have, care to venture a guess what I mean by taking the first step? No? Anyone, you could just yell it out. Sure. Right, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Give her a round of applause. That was good, really good. Yeah, I mean, when we're faced with the adversity, we're going to have to just do our best, try, and, instead of just sitting there, either sulking, feeling bad for ourselves, having some fear, some doubt, or uncertainty about whether or not we're going to overcome it, we need to take the first step and just say, all right, we're going to get through this. It could be something as simple as setting a goal for yourself, making it up in your mind that you're going to overcome that obstacle. How many people in here set goals for themselves? Short-term, long-term? Okay, really important. That's a really key contributor to being successful, really in anything. Not just basketball, but school, life in general, is setting goals. Short-term, long-term. It's good. It keeps you on track. And I'll get into it a little bit how setting a goal for myself helped me. So after I had the stroke, my first step was making it up in my mind that I was going to get back out into the basketball court. That was my first step. Not literally, but I said, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get back out into the basketball court. Because basketball is my life. All right, growing up, basketball was my best friend. I have a couple pictures here. Oh, actually, a quote by Jane Goodall. So Jane Goodall says that we humans always find reserves and strength of courage to overcome that which fate throws our way. It's one of my favorite quotes. Okay? So she's saying that when we're faced with adversity, all of us, not just me up here, okay, I'm the same as everyone else in this room. She's saying that everyone in this room has some sort of strength and courage inside of them to overcome any obstacle. Okay, so next time you guys are faced with an obstacle, I don't want you to think, I'm not Corey, or I'm not this person, I might not be able to get through it. According to Jane Goodall, she says that we all have something inside of us. Okay, and I truly believe that. Luckily for me, I knew exactly what that was, where I could get my strength and courage, and that was from basketball. So now I have a couple pictures. That this top one right here is, I think, me opening Hanukkah presents one year. And of course, there's a basketball in every picture here, okay? Basketball is my best friend growing up. I could always turn to basketball. It was never too busy for me. If I was stressed out, if I was in a fight with somebody, I could go grab a basketball and, just shoot around for a couple hours. It was really like a safe haven for me. But aside from that, the game taught me a lot about hard work, okay? Something obviously very important. It taught me a lot about hard work. I used to go to these sleepaway camps all the time when I was younger, basketball camps, and one of the coaches at the camps shared this quote with me. I'm a big quote guy, and you'll see that by the end of the day. And I hope you guys remember some of these quotes. I'm going to repeat them a couple times. They're very important to me, and a lot of these quotes helped me get through some of my difficult times, especially this one. So a famous basketball coach once said that nothing will work unless you do. Just take a second and try and process that, okay? Nothing will work unless you do. Okay? Any adversity, any obstacle you're going through, if you're willing to put in the hard work, if you're willing to do whatever it takes to overcome that, I promise you, you have what it takes. Jane Goodall says that we all have that strength and courage. And I'm up here, I'm proud to say that I'm a true testament of that. So I want you guys to all understand, that you guys can get through any obstacles you do face, regardless of how big, how small they are. Right? Now, for me personally, growing up, I did take that quote and I put it towards basketball. Okay? I had a goal for myself. I wanted to be the best possible basketball player I could. And luckily, all of this paid off. When everyone else my age was inside, playing video games, watching TV, watching movies on the computer, doing normal things that kids do, more than likely I was outside working on my game, right? Because I had a goal in mind. That's where sacrifice comes into play, okay? I set that goal for myself, and in order to achieve those goals, you need to be willing to make sacrifices, okay? If we're struggling in school, I don't think, no one's struggling in school here, right? We're all straight-A students. Okay. That's just an example. Don't worry. None of your teachers told me anything. If you're struggling in school, maybe you need to, put down the cell phone. I know we're all obsessed with Facebook, but put down the cell phone and study a little bit more. If you want to be a musician, whatever it is you want to do in life. Anyone want to be a musician in here? Dancer? Anything? Start yelling at, I want to hear what do you guys want to be when you grow up? Not that you're not already grown, just start yelling it out. Alright, so I only understood a couple of those, bad idea. Usually when I have a little bit more time, I go one at a time, but I heard doctor out there, I heard a couple things. Yeah, you want to share? Okay, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah. So there you go. So she has a goal in mind, okay? And if you're willing to put in the hard work, make sacrifices, and have a positive, never die attitude, I have no doubt that you'll become a writer, okay? And that goes for anything. I heard someone say doctor. Whatever it is you want to be, make sacrifices, work hard, and you'll be able to achieve that. So me personally, though, I did apply that to basketball, and it all paid off. I had a very successful high school career in which I scored over 1,000 points, which is a great individual achievement in high school. I was the 9th player. I think my school was like 150 years old or something like that. I might be off there. But I was the 9th player in the history of my high school to score 1,000 points, so it was a good personal achievement. But more importantly, my basketball abilities gave me the chance to go to a good college. Okay, I had the opportunity to play basketball in college, and because of that, I had a good opportunity to get a very, very good education. I decided to go to Gettysburg College. I had a bunch of major colleges recruit me. I'm not sure if you guys know, like Duke or University of North Carolina. That's where all the UNC. I'm a Duke fan. I don't want to hear that. Where all the NBA players come from. I had scholarship offers from all those. Michael Jordan. I beat him one-on-one a couple of times. No, I didn't have any offers from big schools like that, but I did have some smaller Division III schools. Good education, so that was what was most important. And I decided to go to Gettysburg College. My freshman year at Gettysburg, I found myself in a situation I wasn't used to. I went from being probably the best, if not one of the best players on my basketball team pretty much my whole life to sitting on the bench. I wasn't even getting in any games. I was literally, sitting on the bench, and I was kind of at a crossroads. I had a choice to make. I could accept the fact that we had a lot of older guys. All right, we did very, very well the previous year. We had a lot of older guys, so I could have said, all right, that's fine. We have a lot of older guys. They're really good. Next year I'll play. Could have been an option. Could have said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm quitting. Some people. There were other freshmen in my grade that actually quit. They couldn't put up with it sitting on the bench. But like I said already, I have I had that work ethic in me that nothing will work unless you do, right? So I set my mind. I said, all right, let's go. We got to earn some playing time. All right, got to work, and I had a pretty good freshman year. I didn't really get substantial minutes in the games, but again, it was just a true testament that my hard work was paying off, and the coaches saw it. Some of the coaches came up to me and told me that they appreciated my hard work. I have a picture here. This was us winning the. Came out a little blurry. This is us winning the conference championship my freshman year. Just a little proof that we were good. It's not that I just stink at basketball. I don't want you guys just thinking that I stink. So do we have a pointer here? So I'm this guy right here, short hair at the time. So we were, like I said, we were very good in my freshman year. At the end of that season, I remember the day distinctly. I stepped onto the bus after our last game on our way back to our school, and I made it up in my mind. Again, here, I took another first step. I said, you know what? I'm going to work harder this following spring and summer than I ever worked in my entire life. Ever. And I already told you guys, I have a very good work ethic. Okay, I've always worked hard. I said, you know what? I'm going to work harder this spring and summer than I've ever worked in my entire life. I'm going to come back and I'm going to be the starting point guard next year, no matter what. I don't care how many sacrifices I have to make. I don't care if I have to tell my friends, I'm busy, I need to work on my game. I made it up in my mind I was going to work harder that spring and summer. But little did I know, it wasn't to become a better basketball player. Because I really did work harder that spring and summer than I ever did before. But it was just to learn how to walk again, unfortunately. I'll take you back to March 26th. It was a rainy Thursday. I'll never forget. I will never, ever forget March 26th, 2009. I'm lifting weights with a friend and teammate of mine. When out of nowhere, just boom, I get this piercing headache, all right? It felt like an atomic bomb went off in my head. Okay, I'm in the middle of my set, I'm working out, and this bomb just goes off in my head. Caught me off guard. Took a couple minutes off. Told my friend, I said, Brandon, man, my head's killing me. He's like, all right, just take a couple minutes. So I sit down. The headache doesn't really go away, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just get up. Let's keep lifting. Eventually it'll subside. So I walk up to the dumbbell rack. Okay, and I like to walk here just to give you a little visual. So I walk up to the weight rack. Okay, and I pick it up with my right hand. I'll go this way for you guys. I pick it up with my right hand. Okay, no issues. Okay, then I go to pick it up with my left, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just staring at it. The weight's not moving. I don't know what's going on. It felt like I was trying to lift 1,000,000 pounds. I was looking at it and the weight just wasn't moving. So I called my friend over. I said, Brandon, come here, man. Like something's wrong with this weight. He comes over, he lifts it. Things just start going downhill from here. The gym just started swirling around me. My hearing was going in and out. I started to get really dizzy. My balance was off. So I said, Brandon, something's wrong, man. So he brings me out into the hallway, sits me down, bless you, sits me down against the wall, and it was a matter of seconds. I'm sitting up just like all of you are in here, just trying to sit up against the wall, and in a matter of seconds, I'm just start swaying back and forth. Just swaying back and forth, and I really panic now. I'm like, Brandon, get some help, man. Something's really wrong. Something's really wrong. I apologize if the live stream, if that gives you a little headache, I apologize. I'll stop banging on this. But, so Brandon gets me up real quick, okay? We start walking around the corner to the athletic training room. Luckily, we were right around the corner. About halfway there, my leg starts to give out. All right, my leg starts to stop working. Start tripping on myself. So Brandon starts dragging me. Another vivid image that I'll never forget is I get to the athletic training room, and my arm is around Brandon, my head is down, and I'm just looking at my left leg. My toes just dead, completely dead, dragging behind me. It's an image I'll never forget. Luckily, I got the medical attention really quickly, so they got me to the hospital rather quickly. We had a hospital right up the street from us. But before I get there, I do remember my time in the ambulance, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this story. So I'm in the ambulance, and I remember there was an EMT at the foot of my stretcher. There's one behind me. They're both talking to me. They know that something's seriously wrong. They're suspicious that I'm having a stroke, but they don't know for sure. But the EMT at the foot of my stretcher was like, Corey, stay with us. You're going to be okay. Stay with us. And then he looks at me, and I just remember him giving me a weird look, and he's like, Corey, if you feel like you're going to get sick, you can use this bucket. And he puts a bucket next to me. I've always thought of myself as somewhat of a jokester and like having fun, and especially on this day, I figured, why play by the rules? I didn't use the bucket. I ended up just using my shirt. I thought that was a better idea. But there's some importance to that. When I was in high school, when I was your guys' age, I was in high school, I played in a student versus faculty flag football game. And all the students who played in it put nicknames on the back of our shirts. And right here is a replica of that shirt. Okay? I decided to put Mr. 1000, right? Because I scored 1,000 points in high school. So ironically, this is the shirt I was wearing that day. All right, so picture that. Mr. 1000. That was the single greatest individual achievement of my life. Sacrifice, hard work, years and years of hard work. And you know what? It took a matter of seconds, guys, seconds, for the EMTs to get their scissors. And just like that, Mr. 1000 was gone. I mean, that's how quick it was. Literally, that's how quick it was. Mr. 1000 on my chest, 19 years old, peak health, my entire life. Matter of seconds, all of a sudden, Mr. 1000's gone, never to be seen again. Okay? How many of you in here have heard the saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone? Everybody. Don't take what you have for granted. Everybody. I'm not going to repeat that, but I'm going to beg you, while I'm up here, I am going to ask you not to take what you have for granted, okay? I wish I could go back in time and embrace the last healthy step I took, okay? The last time I ran normal. Last time I jumped. I really do. I really wish I could go back, 7.5 years ago. But I can't. So next time you guys take a step, embrace it. Next time you're doing homework and you're thinking clearly, embrace it. Don't take anything for granted. I want you to take that, straight from me. Okay, so I spent 10 days at Hershey Hospital where they found out that I had this really serious stroke, caused by an abnormal blood vessel in my brain. Then after that, they shipped me to Kessler, kind of up here, West Orange, for rehab. And I spent just over a month at Kessler. I have a couple videos here that I want to share with you guys, because a lot of times it's hard for people to, really visualize and imagine what I was like, back then. But my time at Kessler was really, really interesting. I think I have a couple of quotes here first. My time at Kessler was really interesting. I was making neurological gains on a daily basis, going from the entire left side of my body being paralyzed to being able to move my arm a little bit, move my fingers, my leg. And it was really promising. All along they told me, if you work hard, you're going to have a good recovery. They didn't have to really, they were speaking to someone who already had a good work ethic, right? So, there was no question there. So one of my friends actually had an injury, and when he came to visit me at Kessler, he said, "Corey, I have an idea for you. I know you're going to be really frustrated. You have therapy 3 times a day, no friends and family until later at night, and you spend a lot of time by yourself. Why don't you keep a journal? Any thoughts you have, just write them down." Okay, so I decided to keep a journal. That's a picture of me. We'll skip that. That's a tough picture to look at. Here's, here's some quotes from the journal, okay? If you look at these, every single one of these has something about basketball, right? I still have this journal. If I look back at that journal, every single page has something about basketball. Why is that? Because that was my first step, right? After I had the stroke, my first step was saying that I was going to get back out into the basketball court. Okay? So next time, you're faced with that obstacle, you're trying to achieve that goal, bring yourself back to that first step you took. Okay? I did that repeatedly throughout my whole journey to this day. Okay? I still bring myself back to that time when I took that first step. All right? Now I have a couple videos that I do want to share with you from my time at Kessler, and it was really interesting. When I was wheeled into Kessler, fully paralyzed, by the time I left, I was able to walk with just a cane. All right, and here's a big reason why. My motivation.
Come on.
It's me and my dad out back, dribbling the ball a little bit, basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't care how much, I needed to sacrifice. I didn't care how much it was going to take. And then this is also just shooting a basketball is like riding a bicycle. You don't forget how to do it. You know what I mean? Even if you have a stroke, I'm just kidding. But so I was making a lot of progress, right? Okay. After, I think we have one here, my arm. Just to show you guys. I hope it doesn't freeze. Okay, last one from Kessler. Okay, and you can see this is just something very basic, just trying to lift my arm, and I'm barely able to do it. Okay, so this is just something I wanted to, just let you guys. That's my mouth. Just let you guys see that I was having trouble with these little small tasks. After about a month at Kessler, I go home, where I continue my rehab. All right, I got to get back out into the basketball court. I can't this life of having the stroke and not being able to do the normal things that I wanted to. That wasn't for me. All right, so all summer I worked. Made sacrifices. Decided against my doctor's advice. Actually, I went back to school in the fall. And I thought things would go, pretty smoothly, but unfortunately, when I got back to school, things didn't quite go the way I thought they would. I was really depressed. I felt uncomfortable around my friends. I was struggling academically, and the worst part was that I couldn't play basketball. I couldn't even do a single drill in practice. All right, and this was literally rock bottom in my life. Was when I got back to school, I'm not ashamed to say it, I was crying on a daily basis. I really was, okay? And I just want to share with you guys, depression is a normal thing that a lot of us deal with, and it's not something that, and I'm not here for a commercial. I just want to share with you guys, since I did go through it, it's not something that you need to be ashamed of, okay? If you're upset, if you need help, go seek help, okay? Once I finally did that, that helped me move past the issues that I was having. Okay, so I started going to a therapist actually, and it really helped me. Okay, so I'm at the darkest point in my life, right? Here I am, I'm on the side when my whole team is out there practicing. I'm standing on the side by myself. All right, that's what I did at practice. I went every day, but I was on the side, which led to my depression, but I still needed to be at practice. Okay, basketball was my life. I needed that to be a part of my everyday routine. Rock bottom. This is from a poem that I wrote. Feeling this pain, this hurt deep inside, but hard work I knew would turn the tide. Okay, I mean, guys, I was crying on a daily basis, considering, going home, am I not going to be able to do this? Rock bottom, more depressed than I've ever been in my entire life. Yet at the same time, I knew that, you know, pain's temporary. Okay, when you go through pain, which at some point you will, whether it's you know, extreme amount of pain or a little pain, it's temporary. But what lasts forever? What lasts forever, guys? If pain, what?
Hard work.
Hard work definitely lasts forever, but sorry, I didn't lead up to that great. Quitting. Okay, so the pain that I was going through was going to go away at some point, right? Well, it didn't matter if it took a couple of days, months, years, it was going to go away. If I quit and gave up, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. And that would be really unfortunate, right? So I decided I was going to help my team in any way possible. I decided to help out, you know, some of the younger players learn the plays, and I also wanted to serve as somewhat of like a motivation for my team. You know, I didn't want them taking things for granted. They're out there practicing every day, and I'm on the sidelines. You know, and when we were playing, you know, I'm not sure, you know, how many of you guys play sports. When you're doing sprints, running back and forth, you're tired, and all you want to do is just, you know, have practice be over already. You know, more than anything, I would have loved to have been out there sweating and out of breath. So I like to remind all the guys that, man, you know, you guys have no idea the opportunity you have. All right? All of sophomore year, I continued to work. Okay, I had that goal, that first step, right? Get back out into the basketball court. Hadn't achieved it yet. So after a long year of hard work, this was a video of the first time I ever ran. It's out front of my house. All right, and I know it doesn't look like much, but coming from being paralyzed on the left side of my body to being able to do that, again, throughout my entire life, I've seen over and over that my hard work pays off, which is why I'm trying to beat this home to you guys, okay? That hard work pays off, regardless of what you're trying to do. All right, so I get back to school my junior year, and I'm warming up with the team. I'm doing layup lines and shooting around with them. I'm excited. Our first game's coming, okay? I have all my family coming out, and they're excited. They want to see me back out on the court with my jersey on, my warm-ups. But then the night before our first game, my coach comes up to me. He's like, listen, Corey, I got to say, I really admire all the hard work you've put in. You've made a lot of progress. I know you've sacrificed a lot. You've made a lot of progress. But I just don't think you're ready to get back out onto the court. I mean, I can't tell you how much that hurt. I mean, I made phone calls to my cousins, my brother, my parents, all saying that, guys, I'm getting my uniform back on. I'm gonna be out there. I got another quote for you guys though, because this is something that I want you to remember. There's a movie, Rocky Balboa. In the movie, he says that life ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Right? Like we talked about, that pain is temporary. Getting hit, that pain that you're going to feel is temporary. Don't let it knock you down. Don't let it keep you down. Okay? You got to get back up, because it's only that quitting that lasts forever. Okay? I want you guys to remember that. Okay, so my junior year, he said, all right, you're not ready yet. That's fine. I'm going to prove him wrong. No big deal. I just need to work a little bit harder. So in between practices, I would go to practice, be with my teammates, and try and help out in any way I possibly could. In between practices, this is where you'd find me, doing my therapy. All right, working. And you can see, again, still making progress. All right? I'll show you guys a little bit of my basketball skills. Okay, so we'll fast forward a little bit. This is just a video of me out front of my house. So you can see I'm moving around a little bit better, right? I take a shot in a little bit. I'm sure you guys could assume that it goes in. I probably wouldn't put it up in the presentation if I missed, right? I usually make a joke that here's a free shooting lesson, so I didn't want to gyp you guys out on that joke. I worked hard on that joke. Did it? Let's see if we can get it to play. All right, senior day comes around, right? And you guys will see this in the movie if you do have a chance to watch it. Senior day comes around, and I get in the game, and all I was supposed to do was start in the beginning, get taken out. But luckily, we go up by a lot of points. I get put back in the game. The other coach, tremendous act of sportsmanship, decides to foul me and put me at the free throw line to give me a chance to score. So I knew that I had two shots. I knew that I could, obviously, if I wanted to, make both. But I knew that if I just made both, there would never be a movie. So I figured, well, you scored 1,000 points in high school. If you make one of these, they'll probably make a movie called 1001. So I missed the first one, made the second one. We'll show you guys the live free throw. Picture perfect, right? All right, so there you go. That's a picture perfect ending to a story. All right, but as you guys know, it didn't end there. My story started to gain some media attention. Okay, different newspapers, magazines. We'll fast forward a little bit. Newspapers and magazines, American Heart Association, Yahoo, ESPN, and my friends are all going crazy. There's going to be a movie, Corey. There's going to be a based on a true story movie. Guys, there's not going to be a movie. Well, 1001, the Corey Weissman story on Netflix. Sure enough. Now I want to share with you guys. Yeah. So yes, if you guys have Netflix, it's on Netflix. You can actually. The people that put money into making the movie probably won't like me saying this, but it's actually on YouTube for free. But and Amazon Prime as well. Amazon Prime, I think on iTunes. But if you don't mind, I think there's like Arabic subtitles. I don't know who put it up on YouTube. But, what really matters to me is that you guys see the movie if you have a chance. Okay, so David Henry plays me in the movie. He did an incredible job. All right, I do apologize that he couldn't be here today, that you're just looking at me for this long. But if you guys have a chance to check it out, I really think you'd enjoy it. If you'd like to share it with other people, it's a story that could really, really help people going through any obstacles, regardless of how big they are. And I have to say that, it was cool seeing myself in newspapers and magazines and this and that, but getting messages from people, now that it's on Netflix, getting messages from people all over the world saying that, my story touched them and inspired them to, get over the hump and overcome their obstacle. That makes all the pain, all the crying, everything that I went through worth it. Knowing that my story could help someone else. So although having the stroke was the greatest obstacle I'd ever faced, it was also the greatest gift I was ever given. And I truly believe that everything in life happens for a reason. My stroke could have ruined so many people's lives. But it happened to me because I was strong enough to persevere. And because I would have the opportunity to go across the country, speak at different middle schools, high schools, colleges, camps, and share my story, which is something that I intend to do for the rest of my life. All right? It's a gift that I promise that I'm going to continue to use for the rest of my life. Just fast forward a little bit here. All right, so today we talked a little bit about some of the obstacles I faced. Obviously, the stroke was a big obstacle. Prior to that, not getting on the court. When I first got to Gettysburg, what did I always do though when I was faced with those obstacles? How do you overcome an obstacle? What's the first thing? Give it away. Take the first step, right? So I continued to take the first step. Now, next time you guys are faced with an obstacle, I want to know what your first steps will be, okay? Before you think about that, I have a video here, last one from Kessler. These are literally the first steps I ever took, okay? I wasn't able to move my leg by myself, and this was literally a video of the first time I was ever able to take steps on my own. Again, something I took for granted, prior to having the stroke. So again, on that note, I'm going to leave you with, next time you're faced with an obstacle, and there's going to be some fear and some doubt and uncertainty. It's normal. That's going to happen. I just want to know, what's your first step going to be? I want you to think about that. And I want you guys to have a great day, okay? Great holiday. And I really appreciate you guys having me today, okay? Thank you so much. You guys have been great.
Good time for probably 2 questions. So think about it for a second. Go ahead.
Was that foul shot the first time you were back on the court since your stroke?
Yes. Yeah, I got in. Oh, okay. Well, this is for the people at home. Yeah, well, I got in the beginning of the game, and then I was taken out because I still wasn't able to fully play, but then I got put back in at the end. So that was the first shot that I took. in 3 years. But like I said, I missed the first one on purpose because I knew they were going to make a movie, obviously. I do want to put, I want to answer as many questions as I could, but I do want to put, unless I just ruined it. I want to put my information up here. Maybe I'll just share with one of the teachers. Okay, what email? I have an email address and a Facebook page. I would love to answer all of your guys' questions. If you want to just reach out to me on Facebook, I try and get back to anyone who answers questions as soon as I possibly could. So we'll leave that information so that you guys can reach out to me and ask any questions. Okay? We have time for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Salva, you want to ask?
Yeah. Especially in the movie when your coach said that like you weren't gonna play and that like in junior year you didn't think that you'd be. How did you get the strength to like continue playing on the team and like not quit? Like how did like I know that you've been through a lot, but like still like to know that you weren't gonna play the rest of the time. How are you able to overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I have to say, it's just something that, I don't want to say that it's just something I was born with because, like Jane Goodall says, we all have that. I was just fortunate enough that I knew what it was that could help me get through that, and that was basketball. That was my goal, and that was my passion, and I really didn't care how many people told me I wasn't going to get back onto the court. I made it up in my mind, right, that I was going to do whatever it took. But again, we all have that one thing that could get us going, or can get us through any obstacles we face. It's just a matter of once you find that, hold on to it. Whether it's a family, family member, a friend, a hobby, whatever the case may be. And that's why I say you always go back to that. I always go back to basketball and that first step that I took. We have time for anything?
Maybe one last question.
Yeah, the clock's a little
Who's gonna-
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone who doesn't have something like basketball to keep them moving forward? Like maybe they're jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it could be something as simple as, drawing. That's what, drawing, whatever it is that makes you happy in life. And, it might take a second. You just sit down when you go home tonight maybe. What makes me happy? What's something that I could do at any time and it'll bring joy to my life? That could be the one thing that gets you through any struggle. Again, it was just very clear that mine was basketball, but take a couple of minutes when you're at home and say, you know what? If I'm ever upset, what's one thing I could do that's just going to put a smile on my face? And it could be something as simple as, saying a little rhyme in your head. But once you find that one thing, you'll be good. Okay? Positive mindset, a never quit attitude, and I promise you guys, the sky's the limit as to what you could achieve. It really is. I wish I could answer more questions. If we, are they going to buses? Okay.
We're going to share Mr. Weissman's information with you, but before you go, Mr. Weissman, you've left a big part of yourself here in the school and inspired us. We wanted you to take a small part of mine with you on the court next time you show up and play basketball. We got you a gym bag full of Minor Rapid swag. You take it through, we got some gear for you. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for your attention. Have a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, guys, anybody want to take pictures of Mr. Weissman? He wants to. Yeah, come up to the bus and take pictures of you guys.